So basically, for the past weekends, Texas A&M and everybody else has been hosting some of the best players in the country. Your thoughts about who's visited the last couple of weeks, some of the standouts, some of the things you've heard both firsthand and social media in regards to some good leans at this point.
Yeah, so I think beginning with that first weekend, I think it was a combination of a lot of things, but with recruits being able to get on campus for the first time in over a year, A&M had quite a few commits on campus that first weekend. There was a tremendous amount of buzz just in terms of Twitter and Instagram and kids on Instagram Live dancing around the photo shoot and all that. And I think there was a tremendous amount of momentum coming out of that first weekend. They had some big targets in town too. He was committed to Georgia both of them were committed to Georgia at the time, but we talk about surprise visitors coming into town, and A&M had two of them, and Bear Alexander and Deion Bowie, who are two of the top players in the 2022 class, and both of them are now back on the market and reopened their recruitments. So it's going to be a battle as it is for every five-star. A&M certainly feels like they're in the mix for both of those guys. But I think the Bear Alexander one could go now until basically signing day or the All-Star games when, he'll make his second decision, I'm sure. But A&M's got some connections there with Nick Williams, who used to be on the Georgia staff and is now on the A&M staff. I think they felt tremendously good about that first weekend. The second one was a different vibe just in terms of different players. They had quite a few players in town who aren't quite the social media guys and aren't going to be putting up a lot of Instagram videos and pictures and all that sort of stuff. But I think the feeling was that weekend went really well as well. And so did this past weekend. Again, kind of with a quieter crowd, a more mellow. Obviously, they got the commitment from Marshall Harris. And I think the thinking is, and I heard Mike Alco mention this today in a story for The Athletic, that schools have had now months and months and months knowing that the dead period was going to be lifted at the end of May. And so I think schools are being tremendously prepared, both A&M has and a lot of others as well, of, just kind of waiting for these weekends to come and rolling out the red carpet for a lot of targets. I think they've put themselves in a good spot for a lot of guys. And now, like we mentioned, you just kind of wait for kids to take the rest of their visits. And every time they go on another visit, you're sort of wondering how they're going to come out of the visit and who's going to blow them away and all that. So when the dust settles in July, I think you'll see a lot of kids start to make decisions before their seasons start in August. And I think A&M really feels like they're in a good spot for a lot of kids.
Andrew Hattersley on the line from Gig'em 247 Sports. You know the brand. You know it's the best in the business. So join him and the rest of the staff over there on Gig'em 247. Please like the video, share the videos out on social media, and subscribe right here. If you enjoy the content, others will as well. So please share the videos out on social media and tell your friends that we're here talking SEC football every day. All right, Andrew, when I got to think that there's a bit of a difference in the weekends involving the 22 recruits versus 23 and 24, where the 22 guys, obviously those relationships have been built. Yeah. They know what they're getting in regards to an athlete, all the measurables. They've seen them play, the whole deal, top to bottom, and they're just trying to close the deal with these 22 recruits. But at the same time, they're hosting these camps during these visitations with the 23 and 24 commits, getting evaluations and times and weights and speeds, and just trying to make an impression and also get an evaluation on them at the same time.
Yeah, I don't envy the job of a coach or recruiting person, or especially the on-campus recruiting coordinator right now, because basically, at least the way A&M structured it was the first week they went Wednesday to Friday of camps, full-day camps. Then official visits started on the Friday afternoon that ran through the Sunday. And then obviously you've got visitors coming in the Monday as well. And then Tuesday of the next week, it was Tuesday through Friday, again, full days of camps and visits, and then right into another official visit weekend. So when you look at how this whole month came together, that was certainly something. But for a lot of these 2023 guys, you're right. It was a chance to, and a lot of 2022 guys ended up coming out as well. It was really your first chance to get to see guys, even if you've extended an offer to them in the past. It was really your first chance to get a look at them in person, see how they move, see how they go through one-on-ones, see how they go through drills, and just really begin to kind of get back to that return to normalcy of how you scout guys and all that. And there was also a chance to see some new guys. I know there was a group that came in from Europe that have been picking up quite a bit of attention. There's a tight end, Theodore Ostrom, that he's picked up offers from Alabama, A&M, Auburn, Georgia, wherever he's gone, he's basically picked up an offer. And you can certainly understand why when you saw him and the way he moved and the way, he had soft hands as a tight end and great size. And so you can certainly understand why so many schools like him, especially as he continues to understand the game more and more. That was a big standout. There was a kid out of Langham Creek that we've heard a lot about, but to see him in a camp setting, Jaquez Petaway, was tremendous. He was outstanding the day that we saw him. And certainly I think when you look at a guy in the 2023 class, I mean, he's going to be right up there with the very best. And I think we've already got him in the top 30 and in 24/7 Sports, and you can certainly understand why. But just a chance again, for to have coaches right there receiving coaching and going through drills is something that these kids in the 2023 class had never really had the chance to see before, and it was good to kind of get back to that.
So Andrew, if I'm getting this right, again, I had it kind of separated in my mind that the visits from the 22 guys were just that in regards to, like you just outlined, visits, showing the facilities, talking to them one-on-one, really knowing the coaching staff at this point, we want this guy. We're closing the deal on this guy. And then the 23 and 24 guys are coming in, they're working out. They're just building relationship. They're just evaluating them at this point. But it sounds like there's some maybe fringe 22 guys that are still, because signing day is still 6 months away practically, that there's still some fringe 22 guys that aren't necessarily the headliners that are still trying to make an impression leading into their senior football seasons.
Oh, no doubt. I mean, there's just looking at the A&M camp, for example, there was a kid out of Houston, Dorian Friend, who came to a camp and really impressed the coaching staff and ended up picking up an offer. And he's a 2022 kid, and he was committed to Houston at the time, and he reopened his recruitment. And we'll see in terms of spots and where things work out if there's a spot for him at A&M. But that's a great example of a guy for a 2022 kid that came and earned a spot. And another one of those guys that really impressed on the 2022 side was Mason Taylor, who's the son of Jason Taylor, the NFL Hall of Famer. He came and he had a really good camp last week as well. Now A&M's got their tight end already in Donovan Green, but if they were to choose to take a second one, which right now it sounds like they're still planning on just taking one, but if they wanted to, that's a guy who came to a camp and made a big impression and showed what he had. And Julian Humphreys, another kid who camped at A&M this past week. He's a Florida commit right now, but he's from Houston. He's really high on A&M, and so that was a chance for him to make another statement to the coaching staff. And you're right. There were a lot of 2022 kids there as well who, maybe they were looking for the first offer, or maybe they were looking to build their recruitment. But because not only was A&M there, but there was some, others like I think UTSA was there one day, and Arizona State was there another day. So there was other coaches there that maybe you didn't pick up an A&M offer, but you kind of put yourself on the ULM was there as well. So there's a chance for you to put yourself on the radar of different coaches as well.